starting my morning routine as a former night owl trying to fall in love with mornings. I successfully woke up at 6 a.m. Lately with the autumn allergies kicking in, my mornings haven't been great, so waking up feeling refreshed is pretty rare. It's Saturday today and I have lunch plans later, but until then, I'm gonna enjoy some me time. Okay, so this is my first ever YouTube video and I'm still figuring out my posting style, but one thing is clear. I want to share my real self and connect with everyone on a deeper level. A lot of you probably came here from my Instagram, but I feel like Instagram sometimes emphasizes the perfect shiny moments. It's harder to share the vulnerable, raw feelings or the deeper thoughts behind what I do. Like anyone else, I'm just a person, fragile and sensitive at times. I have days where things don't go well or I make mistakes, just like anyone else. I want you to see that side of me too. Since this is my first video, I thought I would start by talking a bit about myself. I'm 25, living on my own in Tokyo. I was born in Fukuoka, moved to Osaka, and had been living in Yokohama since kindergarten. So I'm basically a Yokohama kid at heart. I used to work for a trading company right after graduating, but as of the end of September, I left my job and became a freelancer. I'm still a total newbie at this freelancing life, so I'll be appreciated if you could watch over me warmly. As for my house, it's been 10 months since I started living on my own. The reason I decided to live alone was that I wanted to create a space that's entirely mine, filled with things that I love. Plus, when I think about living with a partner or getting married in the future, I figured this might be my only chance to live by myself. Now I'm so into it that I'm not sure I could ever live with someone else. I'm loving every minute of it. I mean, I can eat a whole family-sized bag of chips at midnight and no one can complain. And if I come home late, no one says anything. But living alone has its downsides. My personality tends to get a bit lazy. I grew up in a pretty strict household, so when I moved out, the freedom hit me hard. On top of that, I started living on my own during a super busy time at work, so my daily routine got completely out of whack. I'd always been a night owl, but it got way worse. I was leaving to work and waking up just 15 minutes before I had to leave the house, always rushing around with no peace of mind. That's when I decided to start a morning routine to get my life back in order. That was 4 months ago. I'll never forget the day. May 24, 2024. That's also when I created my Instagram account. I started posting about my morning routine to put pressure on myself, hoping I wouldn't quit after 3 days, like usual. There's always some fear when it comes to putting myself out there. What if someone judged me? But because I made that decision back then, I have 17,000 amazing followers on my Instagram right now. I've met people who resonate with my vibe and people who say they've been inspired by my efforts. I never expected that this account I started just to keep myself accountable would end up helping others. It's such a blessing. Since I began posting on Instagram, I've come to understand myself better. I thought I was just sharing things that I liked, but every time I get a question in my DMs, it helps me realize my strengths and what I'm good at.
Okay, maybe I should say somewhere less.
I think the most common question I get is about English.
Okay, yeah, we ready to order?
Well, I didn't go to an international school or take English lessons as a kid, just a regular Japanese student who started learning English in public middle school. I studied abroad for a year in Seattle during university, but until middle school, English wasn't a part of my life, which I think makes my experience pretty relatable for a lot of people. Since the voiceovers in my videos will be in English, I hope you can use them as listening practice if you study English. Thank you guys so much for watching until the end. Honestly, putting myself out there on YouTube was pretty scary. I felt a bit of resistance when it comes to expressing what's really on my mind. But since so many of you have been following my journey on Instagram, which is my cozy little space, I wanted to be as open and real as possible. That's why I decided to start making YouTube. Okay, so if you have any thoughts on this video or any suggestions for what you'd like to see in the future, please feel free to drop a comment. I'll be sharing more about my lifestyle in the future, so don't forget to subscribe and stay tuned. Bye!